Hey, hello YouTubers. Getting back to you with another video, kind of following up on the last one. I spoke about light workers, psychics, and mediums, and I briefly touched on empaths, and an awful lot of you are empathic. And I thought I would briefly touch on that. I don't try to go too deep in the detail. I leave the details for the chance that maybe you'll come sit in on a class and learn a little more in depth. But I will touch on what an empath is for the general audience. Okay. Now, most everybody has a little bit of empathy in them. That's where you kind of feel for somebody else what perhaps you may feel sad for them for a situation they're going through. You feel compassion, all those emotions that kind of come up when you see somebody dealing with something. Now, an empath is when you feel what the other person is dealing with. You can feel their energy. You can feel their moods. You can feel their headache, their nausea, but mostly their attitudes. That's the first thing that empaths really learn how they connect. Now, it's usually the hardest thing to learn how to control. So many people who are empathic suffer from anxiety. Dude, you may not be it may not be your own anxiety. You're picking up on somebody else. You're picking up on the energy perhaps that is in the collective. And right now, a whole lot of people are really experiencing a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression. So if you're empathic, you're going to pick up on that stuff. Another a thing that empaths have to deal with is when they're watching a movie. It's hard to watch very traumatic and dramatic scenes, anything really gory, a lot of terror. It absolutely bothers an empath. We can't sit through that. I can no longer watch dark things like that. It's just something that I have learned to now that I can't experience. Empaths at some point do have to learn how to protect themselves. First thing you need to do is learn how to identify what you're feeling. Okay, if you have a headache, is it because somebody else in the room has a headache too? Are you working in the proximity of somebody that's got leg issues and maybe your leg aches all of a sudden? Yeah, that's kind of how it gets started, is you manifest these little things not knowing, and it's only because you're in somebody else's proximity, on their wavelength. It could be one of your kids experiencing something somewhere else, and a mom gets a little bit of the failing. We call it mother's intuition, but everybody's got it. Everybody has it. Men have it too. They get that feeling that they need to go check in on a friend who perhaps they haven't heard from for a while, or somebody that's in the woods hunting kind of issue. Men will do the same thing. They'll check up on each other if they get that gut feeling. And that's basically what, how empathy kind of goes. Often those that do experience other people's anxieties and depressions, when it's, hey, that's not me. I don't normally get this bummed. I don't get this depressed. What's happening here, Take a minute and identify that, hey, it may not be mine. I might be dealing with somebody else's kind of emotional issues right now. And once you do that and you can identify that it's not yours, that's the easiest part to releasing it. Just let it go. Not my monkeys, not my circus. And you can help from a better capacity for those that have those anxieties and those issues, in a different way. I'm going to stop here and mention that I need you to like, subscribe, and share these videos. Let people see some of this information and come to their own conclusions. It just helps if you have a little more information to base your own guidance system off of. Okay, touched on empathy. Okay, once you kind of feel that it's not your issues, you do the "it's not my circus, not my monkeys" thing, you can also kind of put a little bubble of protection around yourself. Envision a bubble, a nice pink bubble. If you're a girl, you can envision a blue bubble if you're a boy. It doesn't make any difference, but whatever color you pick out, give it a lot of detail. You want to be able to see the beautiful swirls in the bubble. And you even, if you can even pick out a fragrance that you want your bubble to smell like. One gal told me she picks out cherry blossoms for hers, and another gal said her bubble smells like bubblegum on the inside. But the more detail that you can give that protective bubble, the better it will protect. It kind of works like a self-hypnosis kind of thing. You know, the more detail that you can give it, the better, the stronger it'll be. The better it'll work for you. A lot of people, once they realize they have that empathy, they develop an interest in taking it farther. What does this mean? Where does it take me? You may be a budding psychic. Every one of us, absolutely every one of us has that ability to hone in on things that aren't there, that aren't in the physical. We all have that, maybe to a different degree. It would be like if you and I sat down and somebody took us in a room and they were going to teach us how to play piano for the first time. After a few lessons, you may be playing Chopin, Beethoven, and I may still be playing chopsticks. Some of us just don't have certain aptitudes. Some people are absolutely gifted from birth as psychics and mediums. And others kind of develop it over the years. You know, I saw a spirit at a very early age. I absolutely knew there was something under the bed. You can't tell me there wasn't. I saw it. And then we squelch it for a while, you know, as we grow up and go through those teen years. A lot of people don't squelch it. Your parents are open and they are supportive and they guide them through that. And any of you who do have any psychic children, please don't squelch that. Please don't make them put that on the back burner. Allow them to talk about it and give them a little bit of guidance with that, you know, get them on the right path and they're headed the right direction with it. I really don't have much more. I just wanted to briefly touch on the empathy thing. I did mention it in an earlier video, but I wanted to get back to it as soon as I could so I didn't forget. And as always, I am going to leave you with love and light. Please like, share, and subscribe. Talk to you soon.